Welcome to the Stories That Sparkle. I'm hellarader, and I won't lie, today's intro has been one of the harder ones for me to record. There's a lot of personal sensitivities and vulnerabilities around some of the topics that Shelley and I get into in this episode. So a little bit more about that in a second. Shelley is someone I have known for at least 9 years. She is in my home on a regular basis. She helps me to keep things clean and organized around here. She has also become a good friend, and Shelley is a survivor. So, content warning for that. We talk about relationship abuse and mental abuse. We talk about miscarriages. So just know all of that on the front end. If you need to take care of yourself and skip this episode, please do that. And if you find yourself in a situation that is unsafe or you need support, please know that you are not alone and there is help available to you. I have put links to resources in the show notes. And if you want to reach out to me directly, you can absolutely do that. hellarader@substack.com. Having said all of that, Shelley does really have an incredible perspective 20 years later. She has a light touch about it all. She is a real beautiful example of someone who is thriving, who is living her best life. She is also a big proponent of living every day, and she has taught me a thing or two about how to keep it simple. So I invite you to get comfortable, to sit back, and listen in. I'm hellarader. With a good sense of humor, an open heart, and an open mind, I love to explore the very human complexities in others and in myself. That's why I created a space for women you have never heard of and could easily pass on the street to share in their own voices the intricacies of starting over in life, building community, inhabiting their bodies, and more. Welcome to our Disco Ball, the stories that sparkle. Welcome to the sunroof, Shelley. I'm so excited.
I know. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing this for a minute.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, so...
So I'm ready.
Woohoo. Well, and Shelley, just so y'all know, I've known Shelley. We've known each other, 9 years?
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Known each other basically 9 years.
Yeah.
You've seen all the things.
Yes, I've been here for it all.
Yes, you... That was a very deep breath you just took there.
Yes.
Yes, I've been here for it all. Yes, she has been. She's been here every other week, basically, to help me keep me sorted out here.
Yeah.
Keep me organized and cleaned up.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Take the pressure off.
Yeah, take the pressure off.
Yeah.
Which was especially important when I was working full time.
Yes.
And caring for a very not okay ex-husband who was physically not okay.
Right.
In many ways.
Had some challenges.
So I really needed help.
Yes. I think everybody does these days. It's just crazy out there.
Yeah, it is crazy out
Everybody's
there.
busy.
You're right. You are so right about that. So yeah, I'm very fortunate to be able to get the help I need. So thank you. But we've also become friends.
Yes.
We have lots of chit-chats when you're here.
Yes.
And especially now that I'm always here when you're here, because I'm not.
That's right. Most of the time. Well,
if I'm not out of town, if I'm here, and I'm not since I'm not going to an office.
Right.
We're now here together every other week. So
yes.
It's delightful.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, because I would go a long time without seeing you, so it's nice for you to be around.
Yeah, I feel it feels good to be around.
Yeah.
In my own life.
Yeah.
It feels good to be in my own life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When your life is your own and not somebody else's.
Ooh, Shelley throwing down the deep knowledge right out of the gate.
I know.
This is going to be a good conversation. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about many things over the years, obviously. We've talked about health insurance. We've talked about medical systems. We've talked about all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But the thing we were talking about in terms of big change was when you had a lot of big change happen all at once.
Yes.
And that was in your, late 30s, right?
When all of it started, I was around 38.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I had just recently married my second husband. And we ended up conceiving, and we lost that first child, early on. So it
Right.
was, that happens.
Right.
And I've had multiple miscarriages, so that happens. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen within the first month or two if something's not right. So,
Right.
but
So
it's
how did you deal with it? Not just that time, but the other times. Like, how did you keep going in terms of wanting to try to have kids?
it never dawned on me not to try. And I always thought of it more of in a clinical way. Like, if there's something wrong with the fetus and you have a miscarriage, that's nature taking its course.
I see.
It is still traumatizing.
Sure.
It's horrible. Especially, I was with my first husband for 7 years before we actually ended up having a child. A long, I didn't think I would ever have kids.
Wow, so you were trying that whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And having either not getting pregnant or getting pregnant and having miscarriages.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I only had 2 that I knew of
Right.
with him. Like, there could have been multiples. Like, if it happened, you conceive and it happens in your period, it's time for your period, and you just go ahead and have your period. You wouldn't even know. Once it happens to you a couple times, you just have to, you can't dwell on the fact that you lost a baby. You really have to, disconnect yourself from that.
Right.
A little bit, especially if you're having a lot of trouble conceiving. Right. You just can't dwell on it.
Did you
all the time.
When you say disconnect, did that mean also disconnect from your physical self or mentally?
You have to think of it, in its nature. It's just nature's way. If something's wrong with the fetus, that you would have a miscarriage.
Got it.
If it was a healthy baby, then it would, it would survive. But
right.
You have to think of it that way.
Right.
Because it would just be so devastating that you probably would give up.
Right.
And just couldn't take that heartache all the time.
Right. Right.
Because it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, no, I we've talked about this. I've never tried to get pregnant, not on purpose at least.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of having had any miscarriages.
Right.
Yeah, so I have no, the whole pregnancy, miscarriage, anything related to reproductive organisms.
Yeah.
Within myself, I have no physical connection. And then I had a hysterectomy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and actually, not long after we moved in here and we met, so 2016.
Oh.
Yeah, I had maybe it was before we actually met you, but it was that year.
Yeah.
I had a hysterectomy. Yeah. So that, and I've had this conversation in a bunch of different ways, but I don't, I never tried to get pregnant, so I'm not sure if I could have or if it would have been hard or not. I have no idea because I never tried.
Right.
So all I know is, by the time I got to the hysterectomy point, I had these huge fibroids that were so large they were the size of a coconut.
Yeah.
They were huge, and they were like, "Yo, this is not good. We gotta get this out of here."
Right.
Right. So this could be tumors. We don't know what's happening.
Right.
So, I had endometriosis. I had all the things.
All the things.
I had a buffet of all the things that in retrospect, probably would have meant it would have been very hard for me to get pregnant.
Yeah,
right?
and you could have had a lot of disappointments having that.
Yes.
I know a lot of people really struggle.
Yes. And I had a lot of pain, but only certain times. So I just never looked. But also, quite frankly, I was so disconnected. That's why I was asking about being disconnected. I was so disconnected from my physical self that I didn't even look into it.
Yeah.
Why do I have all this pain and blah, blah, blah. I never looked into it.
You're just trying to survive.
I was just surviving. Yes. Not thriving.
We all get to that point. You just survive, and certain things you ignore because you just,
Yeah.
you just can't handle it.
No, you're like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm going to
I can deal with that.
I'm going to live in denial about that.
Yeah. We all do that.
It sounds to me like you really it was really important to you to be a mom. You really
Yes.
wanted very much to try what you could, as hard as you could, to become a mom yourself. Like,
Right.
with your, like, give birth yourself.
Yes. Or it never even dawned on me adoption or anything like that. But yeah, I just never even thought about that.
Right.
I just always thought I would eventually have children.
Right. So did you, like, some part of you just know, like, eventually I will have a child, or did you just didn't even think about it? You just kept going? You're like,
I
I'm
just kept
gonna
going.
try.
If it was going to happen, it was going to happen. I just didn't give it a lot of. I did not give it a lot of thought. I didn't think about medication or getting help from doctors or. Well, I got married when I was 20, so.
Oh, right.
I was
So
young.
You're young. Oh, yeah. You're really young at that point. You're just like,
Yeah.
I'm winging it, man.
Yeah, we were like just living life, so if
Right.
it happened, but.
Right. Okay. I got it. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then when I got married to my third husband, it just happened right away.
Right away.
We were planning our wedding, and we ended up finding out that we were expecting, which we were excited about. And then shortly after the wedding, I would say a week, I lost that baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense.
That was terrible for me, and I assume it was. I mean, it was 20 years ago. So
Right.
I'm sure it was terrible for him too. I mean, I think. He wasn't a very emotional person, so I don't think. He doesn't talk about his emotions or anything.
Right.
Like that. So.
Right. And how did you two meet again? I forget.
Through a mutual friend.
Okay.
He was building houses, like spec houses, and I was a real estate agent at the time.
Ah, okay. So you're crossing paths.
Yes.
In what you do professionally. Friend introduces you. Love emerges.
Yes.
Wedding plans.
Yes.
Right. Got it. Okay. All right. So you find out you're with child after you get married, have a miscarriage. Then what happens?
Then about a year later, we found out we were expecting again.
Wow.
So I was thrilled. And when I told him, his reaction was shocking.
Oh.
Yes.
What was his reaction?
He said he felt trapped. And we were building our dream house.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I'm like, wait, what? Trapped? I mean,
who says that?
well, and also, like, at what point?
When did that happen?
At what point did you feel trapped?
Yeah.
When you got married, or when you started building a house together? Like, I mean, really now? That's interesting.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a time delay.
I was in shock.
Right.
I was in shock. I think anybody would be.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he dropped that on you. And like, what did he like? Did he just said that, and then like that was it? Like he didn't really say what else next, or he was just letting you know, like, I feel trapped.
Yeah, I think at the time I think I walked away.
Right. You're like, okay, good for you.
I need a minute.
I gotta go. I'll be back.
Maybe.
Right. I gotta go over here for a second. Wow.
Yeah. So because I was older, I was 39 at the time, I had to go to a specialist. Because I had diabetes and I was 39. And I mean, all that could have been what happened to the first baby, because my diabetes and, that is just a big strain on your body. Anyways, I went to a specialist and she found a lump in my throat.
Oof.
Immediately. I mean, she was good.
Wow.
Like, she found it right away. And so,
Wow. Wow. So you're pregnant. No, you're pregnant.
pregnant. Like 3 months pregnant.
Okay,
early on.
Okay, 3 months pregnant, lump in throat.
Yes.
This is the second. You've been pregnant before with the same husband. This is the second time.
Yes.
And now it's a viable pregnancy so far, and now there's a lump in your throat.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So I go to the oncologist, and he said that all my thyroid levels and everything were fine, and that he wasn't going to do a biopsy. I'm like, no, I'm sitting here in your office. We need to do a biopsy. I mean, I'm sitting in the office. Why would you not?
Right. Well, I'm impressed though, because I was talking, with other people on a couple other episodes, a doctor and a friend, like on both sides of the equation, and how, certainly when I was younger, and certainly at that age still, I would have been too scared for some reason to speak up and demand that they do something about it right now.
Well, I mean, I don't understand why. Maybe because he knew I was pregnant and I don't know why he didn't want to take a biopsy. That was just strange to me.
Right, that's weird. That is weird. So you're like, no, I'm not leaving here until you take a biopsy.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, for sure. And so then they called me a couple weeks later and they said it was bad. It was real bad.
Oof.
I mean, just like that. They said it was bad, real bad.
Oh my
on
gosh.
The phone.
What kind of bedside manner is that?
I'm like, okay, well, we know what that means.
What? Yeah, you were like, okay, I guess. What? That's a weird phone call to get.
Yeah. And so, obviously, I did go back in, and there weren't any options because I was pregnant, and I wasn't going to end the pregnancy. That was not ever going to happen. So I pretty much had to wait till after I gave birth to my child, and I was going to have radiation. And after you have radiation, you can't have children for 5 years. And obviously, I was with a husband who didn't want to be trapped.
Right. You're like, this is a bad... oh, my God.
I'm like, oh, my Lord. So after I had the baby, and then I went right into surgery to have my tubes tied. So we did not... Because you don't want to have a radiation baby.
But wait, look, real quick. So what kind of cancer was it? Was it
thyroid cancer?
Oh, it's thyroid cancer. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's the slow moving kind.
Yes, that's the kind you want. I mean, it's slow growing.
Mm-hmm. So you could kind of wait a little bit, but still, I mean, you're taking a risk here. You're saying, I'm going to let the cancer hang out because I'm more concerned about my baby.
Yeah, and I didn't take the radiation right away either because I just had a baby and I had 3 other kids at home. And so I had to plan. Like I was going to leave because the radiation comes out of your pores. But if for some reason one of your children, like you were eating cereal and they put the spoon in their mouth or whatever, it could cause their thyroid to die. So I was just terrified. And so I left for 4 weeks. And so I had to have people come in and take care of my kids, including my brand new baby.
Oh my
gosh. So I had the operation. It was a 6-hour operation. And they removed my thyroid. And that is not, I mean, I look like Frankenstein's bride. I mean, the staples in my neck, it was awful. And so I recovered from that. I planned to leave to stay at my mother's, and I had people come in and take care of the children until I was safe to come back. And you could stay in the house, but
yeah.
And but I just had a brand new little tiny baby. No, there's no way I was going to stay around her.
No, I get that. Well, I have a family member who had the thyroid cancer and also went through the radiation, also left.
Yeah.
Like stayed elsewhere.
Yes. So, yeah. So that was a lot.
Okay. Wow. I'm really struck by your mama bear, like powerhouseness.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a hard thing.
Between the choice to, I've got cancer growing in me, and but I'm more concerned and want to take care of this baby growing in me as well. Like, is that a switch that gets flipped, or like I'm a mom, so like there's a whole other level of protectiveness that comes in?
I think so. I think yeah, because that's what mothers do. They protect their children.
Ideally.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some that don't.
Yeah.
But that's a different conversation.
Yes, it is.
That's a whole other episode of this podcast.
For sure.
Okay, so not only during the pregnancy are you having this struggle between I'm not okay, and I'm keeping my baby okay.
Yeah.
But then also once she's born,
yes,
now it's the same thing. You got to go take care of You got to go to take care of you. You have to leave her.
Yeah.
Wow. And
That's
your other
hard.
kids.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes, that was hard.
Yeesh.
But at the time, I feel like when I look back on it, it was hard. At the time, you're in survival mode. And so.
Right. Well, because also in the background of all of this is your husband saying.
Failing marriage.
Right. Like, this is all happening simultaneously.
Yes.
Marriage failing. Dude says he's trapped, building a dream house, just married, had a miscarriage, having a pregnancy, cancer.
Yeah.
All in like a year.
Yes.
Simultaneously.
Yes.
I don't even know how you did that.
Yeah. And so to make matters worse.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Because I was sick, the insurance company, I would say every 6 weeks or so, they upped my insurance. I mean, we were paying thousands of dollars a month.
Mm-hmm. The insurance
at
premium.
The end,
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, I think it always was under $2,000 a month, like $1,700. It was a lot for us at that time. You're talking 20 years ago, so that's a lot of money along.
Yeah, and this is before the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah,
there was not a lot of options. You were at their mercy.
And I don't think insurance. And we could get into this. Mm-hmm. Are regulated. They can raise your premiums whenever they want to, especially like when you start getting sick. I mean, it was consistent. Mm-hmm. They and hundreds of dollars. So my ex-husband now wanted me to cancel my insurance. But what nobody knew, and I didn't tell you this yet, when I got back home, I started having muscle spasms in my back. So I went to the emergency room, drove myself, and they took x-rays, and they found all these nodules in both my lungs.
Oh, wait, what?
I know.
Oh, my God.
And the poor guy, the nurse, he was a nurse, he was devastated because he was like, well, you don't smoke. And I'm like, no, I don't smoke. And he was asking me all these questions, and you could just see he was like thinking the very worst, and we all were. So because of that.
But you're alone in the hospital.
Oh, yes.
For all of this. Like, you drive yourself to the hospital.
Yes.
Your kids are at home. No one's there with you. You're by yourself.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
And you get this news.
Yes. Well, we didn't know when I went.
No, I know. But you're like, I got back pain, whatever. And then they're like, also you've got nodules in your lungs.
Yeah, so the lower part of my lungs are full of nodules. So, of course, we all think it's cancer, of course. And so for the next 3 years, every 6 months, I had to have CAT scans to make sure they weren't growing.
Right.
And I had a really good radiologist, and when I went in there, he says, I don't think this is cancer. He said there's a fungus on the East Coast that people get exposed to that causes this.
Right.
And so he said, but we have to be sure.
Right.
So the whole time, our insurance is going up. I'm having all these health problems. I don't even know if I'm going to live.
Oh my God, you've got a baby. My head's popping off. My head is exploding with mind-blown situation.
I mean, for years and years and years, I'm like, just let me survive long enough to get her through school, like high school. Mm-hmm. That was always my goal.
Really?
Yes.
So even after all
even
this,
after everything,
but for years, we were just haunted by this. Please don't let me die.
Yeah, I can't die yet.
Oh my gosh,
not yet.
Wow.
And so, my ex-husband wanted me to cancel my insurance. He would chase me around the house with the papers because the insurance company would not cancel it unless I signed and okayed it. But at the time, I was having to get these CAT scans every 6 months, and it was cheaper to pay the premium. And if I did have cancer, all that money. I needed insurance.
There's
point.
no way. That kind of those kind of medical bills would be a debilitating debt for life.
He did not care. He did not care. I realized how little he really did care.
Wow, this sounds also abusive.
Oh, he was very abusive, I think, mentally. Yeah. And I've seen it after we were divorced and he's been in other relationships. I've seen him he treats everybody like that, including his own children at times. I mean, yeah,
But-
it was awful for about
So
5
I'm
years.
curious, like you didn't obviously weren't able to recognize it at first, but you could then see it very easily when
Yes.
when you had some distance
yes.
and you were observing him in other situations, you could recognize it. But when
Yes.
you were in it yourself, because I find this is often where people find it who haven't been in this situation, who have not been in an abusive of any kind situation, to really understand why people stay, what the calculus is, like what why it's hard to recognize it at first sometimes,
Yeah.
for what it is, and then even once you do, like there's all these factors, like there's financial things going on, there's health issues going on, like it's not so simple.
And I just had a baby, and I
Right.
was very sick. I mean, I didn't feel physically sick, but I
Right.
was sick.
Right.
Like it could have been the end of my life, really.
Right.
Multiple
So
times, yeah.
so from your perspective, you're like, I see you being an a-hole to me and chasing me around with paperwork and trying to get me to sign off on something that's not helpful to me
Yeah.
and my health. So I'm going to not do that, and I'm not leaving because I need
Well, you can't. What
Right.
are you going to do?
Right.
You can't hardly work when you have a teen. I mean, I could have worked. I mean, and I did. I eventually left when she was 2. So I waited 2
Right.
years.
Right. But you bought yourself some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hard. I just don't think, on the outside, it's like, oh, people always say, why didn't you leave? Or just get a divorce.
And it's not that easy.
It's not that simple or that easy. There's a lot of things that go into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for me, part of it was also believing that I had could stand on my own 2 feet, which made
Yeah.
no sense because financially that was not my issue. I could do that. That part was not my issue. My part was everything else. My issue is, could I stand on my own 2 feet and take care of me
Yeah.
with, by myself? Yeah.
Which you could have, because you were taking care of you and someone else.
For
So
sure.
taking care of just you, it's easier.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize that.
But you don't see it.
No, you don't see it. And you're so sucked into the dynamics of that you can't see anything clearly.
I just think there's a lot of guilt in divorce and a lot of sense of failure and what did I do wrong? I mean,
Right.
I think women feel that way. I don't know. I'm not a man, so I don't know how men feel about it. But yeah,
Right.
you feel a huge sense of fail. I don't know why that is.
Well, then if you add this layer of mentally abusive situation, I mean, it takes away a lot of your confidence
Yeah.
too.
I don't know why he's that way.
Right. Right.
But he's done it with everyone, not just me.
Right.
See, understand, it's not that it's you. They will be that way with everyone. So you think, well, he's so nice to her and he was so mean to me. No, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. They
Right.
never change.
Because that's the thing. I mean, I think when you're in it, you're not talking about it generally. You're not telling people what's really going on. I certainly didn't.
No.
And then you just kind of start believing the lie that there's something wrong with you.
Yes.
Right. So then you're like, well, I'm damaged. I'm damaged goods.
Right.
I'm damaged. I'm not okay, clearly. So, I can't be by myself. That's how I felt. I mean, that was my thought process. I
Yeah.
don't know that I was consciously thinking that, on a very alert level, but it was in there.
Did you ever have a moment, because you and your y'all.
I love y'all. I got to ask you
You
about
and
how
your-
long you've been in this area. Your whole life?
Oh, I'm from Southern West Virginia, so
Right on. Okay, there's the
But-
y'all coming out in that kind of y'all.
if I go to Virginia Beach and visit my aunt, then I get real bad because she's horrible. Because she's from North Carolina. The family's mainly from North Carolina, so she's even in her 80s, she still got that draw. Anyways,
Right.
you and your husband were together very young.
Yes.
So
And-
was
yes.
there ever a time that you lived
Yes.
on your own?
Yes.
Just you?
Yes. Yes, but not long enough. We even separated a couple times, or tried. We separated. Then it was a lot of this is over, and then we would somehow decide not. I don't know. It was like a constant seesaw thing.
I think he just sucked you back in.
Yeah,
Just sucked you.
yeah,
When
yeah.
he was
And I just didn't have I had not built up my inner world.
Yeah.
To be quite frank, to sustain myself. In my mind. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's funny, it's interesting. I can see to a totally different degree and not nearly that extreme for sure. And I've come a long way. However, I can still observe those old patterns pop up with my friends.
Yeah.
With people I love.
Yeah.
Dearly, who are awesome, who are not treating me badly.
Yeah.
But like weird stuff will pop up with them where I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I behaving in this way? Like, why am I being all like grabby, or just weird patterns that pop up from like, that are just in there.
Yeah.
That I get to deal with,
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I think for a lot of women, this financial piece, the constraints of like how I've got a kids, I've got to pay bills, and it's hard to just walk out the door.
Yeah.
With
and then
no
he
guarantees.
was not one to pay his child support on time. It could go months. Finally, I had to turn him in. Just,
Right.
He.
But so how did you get out, or like what was it that finally made it possible for you to leave? And what did that look like?
The timing was just right. Brittany was a little older, and I found through the county I was in, I found daycare that she could go to what was called, it was like a preschool, but it was through the county. Mm-hmm. And so that she could go at a very young age. They start them off. I forget what it's called now. It's so long ago. But so I didn't have daycare.
Right.
I had that set up. And so then I just called all my old customers that I used to clean for before I did real estate and just worked while she was in school only.
Right.
So I'd take her to school, I'd go to work, I'd pick her up.
So like, did you have a plan to leave? Like, did you say to him, I'm leaving?
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't try and stop you?
No. I wrote my own divorce decree and everything.
Wow.
However...
Oh, boy.
You got to be careful about these things. I was to get a certain amount of money and no rights to our house. Mm-hmm. And Brittany was to live with me, and he was to pay a certain amount of child support each month. Mm-hmm. He was having financial troubles. He just does not manage his money well. The man makes a lot of money.
Right.
Where does it go?
Right.
Okay, I shouldn't whisper.
No, it's okay.
But I'm like, what happened?
What shelter is it in? What is he spending it on? What is happening?
Where does it go?
Where does it go? Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I forget. I done lost track.
Okay, you wrote your own divorce decree,
Yes,
but you
yes.
said be careful because you gave up rights to the house.
Mm-hmm. He was to pay me a lump,
like basically
a lump
buy
of money.
you out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was supposed to refinance. Well, he could not refinance after I was gone and everything was signed. He could not get a bank to refinance the house in just his name.
Oh, no.
So the loan is in my name. I have no rights to it. He's having financial problems and he keeps going into bankruptcy. And
defaulting on the payments.
yes. Mm-hmm. And then he'd get out, and then he'd go in, and then he'd get out. And so I ended up having to go bankrupt to get the house off me. I mean, that's the only way.
Wow.
That I could get out of that. And
wow.
It pretty much ruined my credit for a lot of years.
So this is
but it was already ruined because he was defaulting on it.
Right. So this was impacting you long after you left, even.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I had to go through that because I wanted to be completely disconnected. And then at one point, he had credit cards that had my name on it that I didn't even know about. So that was a whole nightmare. And I did get him to cancel those and quit using them. Right. I mean, it was just this whole financial nightmare.
So did you, like, when you decided you were going to leave, you wrote your whole divorce decree and all the things, did you have somewhere to go? Did you have people know?
No, I found a house that I rented.
Wow, so you did this, like, as all on your own.
Oh, yeah.
You had, like, it sounds like no support.
No.
Nobody was there for you.
No.
So, and, like, is your family, like, also nearby?
I don't have a lot of family. My father's passed away. Most of his siblings are passed away. I have 2 brothers that are estranged.
Wow.
My
From you or
mother's
from each other?
From everybody. No
Oh,
one talks.
no one's-
And my
wow.
mother's estranged. I mean, I really don't talk to her either.
Wow. So what does
It's
that
just
feel like?
horrible, dysfunctional family.
It's not fun.
Yeah, so when I was going through all this, I really didn't have. When I went to my mother's, when I had the radiation and stuff, and that was nice that she let me come. But we don't really have a relationship
Wow.
because she doesn't care to.
Right. Wow. Wow.
She's just a really disconnected person.
Right.
She had a horrible childhood, and my father did too. I can't blame them. I mean, they did the best they could.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
the things that they had to go through as children. I mean,
Right.
our childhood wasn't great, but not like as bad as theirs.
Right.
So.
But wow, but you literally were like, I'm literally on my own.
Always.
You had, wow. So you were kind of, you already knew how, so it sounds like you've always been on your own.
Always.
So even as a little kid, so when all of this is happening, like you're like, yeah, I got
We
this.
raised ourselves.
Right. Like I'm actually the adult in the room.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much.
Wow.
So we all us siblings, we're survivors, but we just didn't have that love and,
Right.
we weren't taught how to bond. We just didn't have it.
But you have so much of that
With my kids, yeah, for sure.
It's just in you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My oldest brother didn't have children, and my youngest brother has 2, but I don't even know his kids.
Wow.
Yeah, I met them twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling to be like I'm an orphan, basically.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no family. My stepfather, my mother's second husband, we are very close.
Aw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So you
Yeah.
have now some.
And my aunt, I see her occasionally.
Right.
From my dad, who passed away.
Right. Wow. So it's really kind of like.
That's it.
Not
And they're
much.
old.
Right.
They're really all in their 80s. And both of them are not in good health. So.
Right. Wow. Dang, dude.
Yeah. I know.
So so you really were just like, I'm on my own. Like if you had known there were resources available to you, like, I don't know, or an organization like a, I don't know, women's shelter, would have been helpful or not really?
I don't think so. I don't think I would have wanted to go to a shelter with my child unless it was like I had no choice.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's hard.
But I started up my business again and got my money together and
Wow.
took my half and he got his half and I left.
Right. But you didn't have any, I mean, you just like packed your
From
bags.
nothing.
From nothing.
From nothing,
Wow.
pretty much.
Had you like squirreled away something to like get an apartment or a house or something? Like rent a place?
Once I started working, I started saving toward it.
Oh, so that you could leave and
Yes.
Got it. So you were like doing a sneak attack on the side?
Well, he knew completely what was going on.
Oh. Okay.
He wanted me gone.
So now how did you build back over the last 20 years?
Just work. I really haven't thought about building back or even do anything for myself until about a year ago.
Really?
Because the goal was to get all my kids out of college. And Brittany will be done with school in December.
Wow.
So now it's like, okay.
So now it's Shelley time.
Yeah, but I'm old. That last one at 40, so 60. So, but that's okay because I feel like I'm 60, but I feel like I'm really more like 48.
Ooh, I like this. That's
Yeah,
very
like-
sassy sounding.
Yeah, I don't feel like, I'm old. I feel like I still got a good 15, 20 years that I can
I got a good
do my thing.
15, 20 years in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. So what do you think you want to do? What makes you happy?
Well, I'm going to probably always do just live a simple, calm life. I do want to buy another home, maybe a project home, something that I could do. Because that would be, my kids are it. I will never get into another marriage.
Right.
And I've been engaged couple of times.
Like since this marriage ended.
Since the last one. But I just can't commit to anybody.
What's that about? What do you think that's about?
I just don't. I see the red flags.
Oh, you like, listen, after that trapped thing business and the chasing me around with insurance paperwork, I see the red flags coming at me much better now.
Yeah. So I don't want to waste anybody's time.
Right. You're like, listen, dude, there's no point here.
No, because I just don't give anybody a break.
Oh, you're tough.
Well,
You're a tough cookie. No, I get it.
I can't. At this stage in my life, 15, 20 years left of good living. So I just, no.
You want to keep it simple.
I can't waste it.
Right. If not now, when?
It's precious.
It
and
is.
I don't trust nobody with it. And I mean, never say never, but I'm pretty, I think a lot of women get to that point. You see a lot of older women by themselves. And when I was younger, I would always think, why are they by them, Now I know.
Right. You're like, I get it now. I'm not quite at that point. I'm only 52 almost.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite there yet of being like, yeah, I'm good for the rest of my life, but I can appreciate the flexibility that comes when you can just do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, like I don't want any more, like my 3 lovely dogs passed away the last couple of years. They are old, 14, all of them. They all passed. Don't get all your animals at once, okay? They all passed away at the same time.
Oh no.
I know, it was so awful. It wasn't easy. Their deaths were not easy.
Right.
But I don't even want animals. I don't want to be tied down. I just want to go when I want to go. If one of my kids needs me, I want to go. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to ask permission.
Right.
Or let have to worry about someone else's schedule to go do what I want to do. I just want to have that freedom to do what I want when I want to do it.
Yeah. So now you're like, I'm on my own, but differently. Like you're in a good place. You're a solo artist because you choose to be.
Yes.
And so now, so what do you want to do? It sounds like fun. What do you want to do with this free time you have now and the focus on Shelley's time? What are you going to do with it?
Live a simple life.
Oh, that's right. You said that, simple life. What does that mean?
Maybe get a little project house.
Project
I'm
house.
not one to fly or travel.
Right.
I have none of those desires.
Got it.
It's like I was talking to somebody. I said, well, if I ever won the lottery, it wouldn't really do me. I mean, what am I going to do with all that money?
Oh my God,
I
love
to travel.
You're like, it's useless to me.
I really don't want a big mansion of a house.
Right.
Why? For one person. I don't want, what would I do with it? I wouldn't do anything. My kids would get it.
Right.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. I love this though. Like you're like, yeah, I don't really need all this stuff. Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
I like this. So what kind of a project house would you want to do?
Know.
Like where you got to remodel on your own?
Probably.
Are you like handy that way?
Take it one. Oh yeah. My whole family has been in construction. I was married to the gentleman.
Right. The builder.
I can do all of it pretty much.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I did not know that, Shelley.
Yeah.
This is like a discovery hour.
And it would just be something that that's what I would like to do. Off my spare time. And then, be with my kids.
Right. You're like, basically, be with my kids.
If I get more than one day off, I get really bored.
Oh, so you work like every day of the week practically?
Pretty much. If I have a whole weekend off, I don't like to have more than one day off because after the first day, I've got everything done.
You're like, now what? Now? So you're not good at the sitting still thing?
No.
Okay, right.
Yeah, because I went to school for medical billing and coding, and I was like, there is no way I'm going to sit in front of a computer all day. What was I thinking?
Now that I don't work in an office.
Yeah.
That was one of my things that I was starting to recognize. Like, it's not that I have a problem sitting at a desk, even for long periods of time, sometimes too long, even now. But I like to feel the flexibility. Like I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
When you tell me to do it.
Yeah.
Like I'll do it, at 7 a.m. and then get away at 10 a.m. and do a bunch of other stuff and then come back at 4 p.m. Sit back down.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be told you have to sit down between this hour and this hour.
Right.
I didn't know that before until something changed in me. I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I like what I do. I wish I didn't have to work as much. But
right.
you know.
Right. But it
Well,
sounds
I
like
get bored if I don't work.
I was going to say, you would be like, well, what am I going to do if I'm not,
Well, I like to work from 8 to 2.
Okay.
And I could do that every day. Because once you get off at 2, you actually have time to like run errands, do whatever.
Right.
Get
Before
dinner
everybody
ready.
else is
yeah,
around.
it's just like, I like that time frame.
Right.
8 to 2. That's a good. And if I could, 8 to 12 would be better.
Right.
But I got to work a little bit.
You're like, I could even do 8 to 12. That would be fine.
Like today I have to work till 4:30.
Oh, no, that's a long day.
That is awful.
That is awful.
I have a lot of those. Like, there are days that I work a lot of hours, but not. I tried not to work that much.
Right. Right. Good for you.
Okay, you have to balance.
You really do.
You can't just work and not have no downtime. I think everybody just needs to work less hours each day.
Ooh. Okay. Yes.
That works for me.
Right. Well, I think this whole like flexible thing, like what works for you,
Yeah.
right? Because some people would prefer to work longer days, but less often. Like
I want to live every day.
right. You want to work every day.
I want to live every day.
Oh, you want to live every day. Okay.
If I work 4 days a week, 12 hours, I'm not living those 4 days.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Ooh, yes.
I want to work a certain amount of hours each day and this is work time, this is
living time.
living time. So I can have a life every day.
Oh my God, Shelley, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I love this.
That's how I think it's the best. I mean, you
Right.
need to be able to get up, go to work a few hours, get off, be able to plan your life, be with your children.
I think you should run for office,
Yeah.
Shelley.
I know.
You
Well-
should be a politician and you should run on that platform because I think a lot of people would want to do that. I also don't think the corporations are going to be too keen on that.
Yeah.
I don't think the
No.
system is not set up for people to do that. I mean, all this whole you got to go back to the office. You can't work from, remote work was a
And
thing.
that's crazy because
I mean,
my daughter works from home, my son-in-law works from home, and they go in the off like he doesn't go in at all, but she goes in twice a week. Is it twice a week? Or 3 times? No, twice a week. But when you work from home, I mean, they are working. I mean, she works at night.
Right.
When she's constantly working.
Right.
But just being able to not have to commute
Oh, yeah.
all those hours and, it's a better life. It's a better life for your employees.
I agree. Well, that's why I say, like, come on, Shelley, let's go solve all the problems.
But I'm not working for anybody but me because I know what I like.
Right.
You know.
Like, listen, you're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of me.
Well, I can make my own schedule to what works best for me.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay, last question. So I know you didn't have a lot of support from people, meaning family people,
Yes.
other adults in your life that could help step in and help you and
Yes.
care for you, which breaks my heart.
Well,
Did you have something like a spiritual something to lean on for yourself, like within yourself?
well, I always feel like there's a higher power.
So
I don't feel like I'm in control.
Right.
And so I don't worry about it. And I think we've talked about that before. Like, I don't worry. I just know that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. And he's in control, or whomever.
Right. He, she, it, whatever your concept is, is in control.
I'm just going along, and I'll be where I need to be. I really do not. I mean, I probably worry more now than I ever have. It's about money or finances or whatever. I think that happens when you get a little older.
Right, because you're like closing in on like retirement, or I'm not going to be able to work times. Yeah.
And so now my goal is to preach to my children to prepare them.
Right. For growing older.
Yeah. And I think that people, they just start living life and they don't think about it, and they need to think about it. But it's been such a wild ride. I don't know if anything I could have changed any of that.
Right. It just That's where you were, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
But you just fundamentally I'm not going to really worry too much, though, because I know and I trust and believe something bigger than me is looking out for me.
Yeah.
It's going to take care of me.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That also sounds, and I don't mean simple in a bad way, like very simple.
Yeah.
Like it's straightforward. Like you're a straight shooter, Shelley.
Well, people need to just calm down. and quit struggling. Make life as easy as it can be. People try to make life as hard as it can be.
Oh, I don't know. I know nothing about that.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
Simplicity.
I can observe myself when I make it more complicated than it needs to be, and I catch it now and start to back off from it.
Yeah.
But I still want to do it. Like I still want to make it more complicated.
Yeah.
Than it needs to be. But then at least I catch myself now.
Yeah. That's the first part. You'll learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't need a lot. I'm into this whole minimalist. How do you say that?
Oh, minimalist.
Minimalist.
Yes. Yes.
Like I have just enough clothes, just enough food,
Right.
just enough. I just want just enough house. Things are time consuming. The more you have, the more you have to worry about, the more you have to take care of. The more you have, the more you have to worry about it.
Yeah.
If you don't have but this much stuff, it doesn't consume your life.
Which goes back to I want to live more than I work.
Yeah.
I want to live every day is what you
Yeah.
said. That's a beautiful way to put it.
Everybody's different. Everybody needs to live their best life. If that's what makes them happy,
Right. Right.
that's what they need.
Right. Well, and Shelley living her best life is less is more.
Right. I don't want to deal with that.
Live every day.
I take care of all y'all.
Right.
There's a y'all again.
So I'm going to be excited to see what you do with this simple life.
Yes.
This keep it simple life.
Yes.
I will look forward to seeing the project home
Yes.
and what you do with it.
It's going to be great.
Oof. I'm excited about that.
I am too. I'll probably live in a dump for a long time. It'll take me a long time, but that's okay. That's what I want.
Right. You
I
want to
want it to take a long time. Something to keep me busy.
I was going to say, give you something to do.
Yeah. Give me some focus.
All right. Well, thank you, Shelley.
Yeah, it was
this was
good.
delightful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate your time.
I'm glad to be here.
Yay.
I'm happy I come every 2 weeks.
I know. I love hanging out with you.
Yeah, and I get to see you.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Yes. So,
For sure.
woohoo.
All right.
All right, girl. Well, I'll see you later.
All right.
Okay. Bye. Thank you again to Shelley for being here. I really do appreciate and love her. She's an incredible human being. And thank you for being here, for listening and sticking around. And if you need help, support, any kind of resources of any kind, if you don't know where to start, there are a few of them in the show notes. You can also reach out to me by sending a message to hellarader@substack.com. And yeah, other than that, thank you again for being here. Please rate, review, subscribe, follow, hang out with me on Substack, hellarader.substack.com. Share this podcast with someone you know. And if you have a story you want to tell, please drop me a line at hellarader@substack.com. Because together we bring light into dark places.